appears my rear tire has a leak. I want to get to Manizales. We'll see if we can get it fixed. It was frightening and incredibly dangerous. We were driving opposite traffic. We were having to dive off the road to avoid being hit by big semi trucks. We're in Manizales, we're working, and tomorrow morning we go to Cali to see some really cool friends of Ayleen. First thing this morning, we were headed to Cali, but we came out to the garage. My back tire is totally flat. Nothing. Zero. It doesn't even register. That's not good. This tire is now full. It's 42 psi. I did find the culprit. There's a tiny little nail in there, and so instead of pulling that out, what I'm going to do is leave it in until we get to Cali, because it's effectively a bad tire plug that's in there. The risk is if I fix the tire, because I've never done it on this tire with this kit, I could destroy it, and then we're stranded. It's better to just leave that in there, get to a tire shop in Cali, and then get it professionally done, instead of risking messing everything up. It's about a 4-hour ride. I think we'll be just fine. We left the hotel pretty early in the morning, and I really wanted to make sure I kept an eye on my rear tire pressure. And sure enough, before we even got through downtown, I saw the pressure was dropping pretty rapidly. And so we hopped over into a gas station and I refilled that back tire, hoping that things would hold up until we got to Cali. All good, 42, back to normal. Fortunately, the second time I refilled that rear tire, everything held up just fine. The nail that was in the tire didn't let any air escape, and we were able to ride down through the mountains and into the valley and finally into Cali, where Ayleen's good friends awaited at Asturias, their motorcycle shop. And so she was able to reunite with Sori and Jorge, and things were fantastic. Sori and Jorge are longtime adventure travelers and just wonderful people. Jorge took my motorcycle into the shop and immediately began repairing the back tire. Wow. Holy crap. After Jorge patched my rear tire, he was then able to take Ayleen's motorcycle into the workshop. Ayleen's bike needed quite a bit of work. It needed a full service oil change, brake fluid change, the rear pannier needed to be remounted, and so Jorge was able to take care of all of that. And so once all of that work was finished, I hopped on my motorcycle and headed to my hotel to be reunited with Ayleen a couple of days later. Well, Jorge fixed my tire, and the next morning the patch wasn't working, and so I thought his patch just didn't take, so I took his patch out and put in a new one, a different kind of plug, and then that didn't work either. So it appears that my tire has either two punctures or maybe the bead is off or something, so they're going to take the rear tire off and see if they can fix it. So this nail went in right here, and then it came out right here. So we were able to repair this. We could patch that, but where this was, you can't get a plug in there. So unfortunately, this is a brand new tire, and it was ruined. All right, Shifty has a brand new tire. It's all fixed up, brand new. We'll wear that in today. And then Ayleen's bike also had a full service. Gracias, Jorge.
Ah, bien.
And Ayleen, yay. Everything's all new. Everything's fixed up. Now it's time for us to ride. We decided to take a day trip to the little town of Calimata. It's on a lake, and we rode around the entire lake, Lake Calama, and observed all of the windsurfers and had a wonderful meal and really just took in the sights and had a wonderful ride that day. We also decided to stop into the little town of Darien and check out the little cathedral. It's really wonderful yellow domed cathedral, and to look out from the city to the lake. On the other side of the lake, we found pastures with cattle and bamboo stands. It was really wonderful. The entire road was just lush and green. It was really an amazing ride. After taking in the sights, we rode back down the mountain and into Cali. We were excited because my friend Laura and her friend Yvonne were waiting for us there that night, where we were able to go out and have a nice meal and share a beverage. It's Monday and we're finally heading out from Cali to go to Filandia, which is by Selento. It's where all the coffee plantations are. And we've had a great week here in Cali. We've got to catch up with some friends, and Asturias has been fantastic to us. So they fixed up Ayleen's motorcycle. They gave me I bought a new back tire. That's all fixed. Ayleen, lista?
We are ready!
Going to Filandia! Woohoo! Never drop your bike doing anything interesting. Ayleen's glove dropped to the ground, and I thought it'd be nice and pick it up. And when I bent over, I realized my kickstand wasn't down. Shoom, my bike goes over, and so I grabbed onto my tank bag, and when I did, I snapped the strap. So I've now ruined all the buckles on my tank bag. Zip locks for the win. Just trying to be nice. Crashed my bike. The road to Filandia was really amazing. We were able to stop at the little roadside stands and enjoy some local fruit, talk to the locals. And the roads were just open, not a lot of tourists, and easy to ride. We found ourselves on top of a mountaintop in a really wonderful hotel, and it was super peaceful and exactly what we needed after the busy city of Cali. We're in Finlandia, now going for dinner. Hola gato. Hola gato. A little friend. Hi. Hi. Oh, another pup. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Are you ready, Mark?
I was born ready. The next morning, we left Filandia and headed toward Selento. It was a nice ride of about an hour, and we were headed toward the fincas. Those are the coffee plantations. We had booked a coffee tour at a local coffee plantation, and we were looking forward to learning all about the process of picking and making coffee. We arrived at Finca El Caso Selento. It's a very small coffee plantation that allows you to take a coffee tour and learn about the entire life cycle of coffee, from growing the seedlings to the coffee trees and watching things mature. The guide was phenomenal. He taught us about everything, about organic growing, the different kinds of trees, the different kinds of coffee beans. And then we were able to get in there and pick some coffee ourselves. Once we had a few coffee beans in our baskets, we used an old-fashioned coffee separator that takes the skins off the coffee beans. And then we learned how those coffee beans were dried and roasted. And then they showed us the proper way of making a good cup of coffee. And then we tried that out ourselves. It was delicious. And then we needed to make some decisions about our upcoming trip. All right, we have some not bad news, but not great news that we found out that Antioquia, how do you say it? Antioquia? The state. It's one of the biggest states in Colombia. There are quarantines starting day after tomorrow. And so we were going to go to Medellin and then stay for maybe a day or two and then head north to Cartagena, but we can't. So as soon as we get there, we'll be basically locked into the hotel for 5 days. Our plan was to go to Selento, have lunch, and then go and camp in the Cocora Valley, which is really one of the most beautiful places in Colombia. However, we have to get to Medellin tomorrow because of the quarantine. And so that means if we go and do the valley and do drone shots and hike and all that, we have to camp in the valley tonight. And then tomorrow, because it's the only day we have to travel before the quarantine closes all the transit down, it's about an 8.5, 9 hour ride from the valley to Medellin, but there's going to be massive amounts of traffic and construction. And so that is really realistically going to put us with stopping to get water and fuel and stuff, about a 12-hour day optimistically, which means we would be leaving at the crack of dawn to ride on very difficult roads. I think just common sense and safety is winning over the day, and we don't really know how difficult it's going to be tomorrow with all the road closures and traffic and stuff. So getting down the road today, I think, is a better option. We left the finca and really just enjoyed a day of riding off-road. All these little dirt paths around the fincas outside of Selento are really, really fun to ride on. And so we had a day where we just were able to enjoy the dirt and the scenery. Eventually the dirt ended and we rode through the town of Selento and then down the winding narrow roads, finally back to the freeway where we rode back up the mountain into our final destination of Manizales. The following morning, we realized that there had been heavy rains the night before. The pavement was very, very slippery, and we knew that we were going to be entering into the chaos of the construction, but now things were probably going to be muddy. We found ourselves again in all of the traffic and construction, the exact same road that we had ridden just a week earlier. And as we rode on, we realized that things were even more difficult than the last time we'd passed through. In the chaos of all of the traffic and construction, Ayleen and I got separated. And after I made it through eventually all of the traffic, I pulled over and Ayleen was nowhere to be found. When we finally caught up, I found out Ayleen had crashed.
But I don't know why, God. Don't worry. I'm had buenas protecciones, good protection. Nothing happened to me. I was very lucky because it just was mud. Very slippery.
The bike's a little beat up.
And even...
The KLÍM pants work.
Yeah, even I don't feel anything.
All right, Ayleen, you had a crash. What happened?
You should to see that. I was in a straight road with trucks and it gonna very slippery. And the truck... and I fell down. I prefer fall down to crash with the truck. Just in the protection of the jacket, my arms good. Just this. I'm not. And this here. So I'm very glad about the.
So the only thing that was hurt was your finger.
And here, it's so important to have good stuff, good gear. My head is okay because I didn't hit my head, but good helmet, good jacket, always boots, always. I think without boots,
You would have hurt your ass.
Broke. I can see my leg.
You're all good?
It's okay.
Nothing wrong?
It's just the hip here.
Yeah.
And maybe here.
Okay.
Here. And I can move. The protection, it's the most important thing, more than the motorcycle. It's really good. And I'm very glad about KLÍM. Very, very, very glad.
Another important lesson for young riders, or any rider really, after any kind of an accident or fall down, anything that gets your adrenaline going, it's really important to stop and then take a break. Because right now Ayleen is amped up, like 10 cups of coffee.
You can in that area.
Yeah, just and so we want to make sure everything's safe, the decisions are good. So we're just taking a break. Yeah, we're gonna relax a little bit, and then we'll go slow into Medellin. And
thank you, KLÍM.
yeah, we owe a big thanks to KLÍM. Ooh. We made it here to Medellin. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm really fine.
Okay, we're very, very thankful. We have no injuries, nothing happened.
No, nothing.
Great. Well, we did relax. We're here in our favorite hotel, 61 Prado Guesthouse. There's a hard quarantine here in Medellin, and so we have 4 days where we can't leave the hotel, so we're just gonna relax, work on some videos, and try to catch up on social media and things like that. On Monday, hopefully, we'll be able to leave Medellin and head north toward Cartagena and the beaches and all the wonderful things in northern Colombia. But what we don't know is what kind of quarantines or curfews or restrictions are going to be facing us in the coming weeks. Things are getting a little bit more difficult to travel here in Colombia. And so we're just going to play it by ear and see what happens. We have about 5 more weeks in Colombia, and then Colombia is kicking us out. So we'll just leave you with some wonderful shots of beautiful Medellin shot from the air.